Oh, Bruce, you're live. Don't say anything dumb, okay? Oh, okay, let's get into this here. Set this for everybody. Save. Here we go. How'd the 4 goals of sight go? Everybody enjoy that? Nina, you get that done? Okay, good. I didn't get to check it over the weekend. I was too busy. I'll tell you what happened. Oh, you guys are going to laugh. Maybe make fun of me for a little bit. Say that I'm a little older than what I look, but maybe not. I don't know. I kind of look old. But it was a funny story. I'll have to tell you. Katie, don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. Unless you told everybody already. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put up the bell ringer here soon. Sorry, I forgot to put the agenda on the board. Just kind of rushing around this morning. But so I'll tell you the story. Here. Just kind of, it's a Monday, right? We need to loosen up. We need to try to get back in the swing of things here. Let me see if my meats is still on. Okay, we're good. So just bought a house. I'm moving in. Just moving all this big, heavy stuff in. No problem. So I got the bed in there, the couches, table, you name it. You know, big papa pump here, right, TC? I'm just kidding. So I was just getting all this stuff inside the house. And all of a sudden, there's just this little TV stand. It's about probably 4 feet long. That's it. 2 feet off the ground. Real light, especially all the stuff I was lifting earlier today. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to muscle this thing in myself and put it where it needs to be. So I bend down, went to grab this thing, pop, my back. I blew out my back. I just fell right to the ground. I couldn't walk. It was just a sharp pain. I was laying on the ground. Help! Help, please help me. Rooster, you heard it too. I was laying on the ground. I'm like, I yelled for my girlfriend's brother. He's a big guy. He's about like 6'2". He's pretty big. So you gotta come get me. I'm laying on the ground. I can't move. I can't walk. So he comes over. What do you think he does right away? Starts filming me. He puts it on a Snapchat story. I'm like, dude, seriously, I'm hurting. My back is killing me. Feels like someone threw a spear in my back. So I'm laying on the ground. He's like picking me up, and I'm just getting up. I look like an old man, and I'm just like kind of walking. Oh, my back. Can't really move. So then they had one of those, you put your ankles in, it flips you upside down, it stretches your back out. I forget what the tables are called. But I was laying in that for about 10 minutes. I said, oh, I'm going to feel like a new man here. I was even grabbing the bar and like pulling it down so I could stretch my back out even more. I was like, oh, this feels great. So right when I flip down to get on my feet, I get on my feet, and all of a sudden, because I was stretched out for so long, my back was stretched out, and then the gravity pushed me down. I couldn't walk. My legs just kind of gave out. So I'm just like hanging there on these armrests of the chair. I can't move at all. So I'm hanging there. I look like a puppet almost. And I'm just sitting there screaming, please help me. I can't move at all. And I was either falling forward on my face or just hang there until someone came and got me. So her brother's name is Stevie. I'm like, Stevie, please. So he comes down. What do you think he does right away? Films me again. He's filming me laughing. I'm like, it's not funny. It was kind of funny. I'm like, oh, just pick me up. He goes, what do you want me to do? As he's filming me. I'm like, just put your arms underneath my armpits and then like prop me up against the wall. And then maybe I can straighten out and I'll be okay. So I'm hanging there. He's laughing. I'm laughing. He comes underneath my armpits and picks me up. I'm just like, oh, trying to straighten my legs out. He's picking me up. And he blocks me against the wall. So I'm sitting there like this. Can't move. I look like one of those little splatter toys that you just throw on the wall. He like sticks there. So I'm like hanging there like this. I can't move. And I'm falling. And he goes, are you good? He has his arms here yet. Are you good? I'm like, I think I'm good. So he moves away. There we go, falling down. Oh he catches me. He goes, you're not good. Same thing. Puts me up. I'm like, what you got to do is just kind of roll my shoulders. So I'm laying there again, like pushing my shoulders up. And I finally get straightened out. And I'm just walking like this. And that was it. That was the story. I thought it was hilarious. But I'm like, I'm only 6 years old. How does this happen? How? You know? Uh-oh, someone's mic's going nuts, huh? Oh boy. Okay. So that's what happened. My back was pretty much destroyed. And that was the whole moving story. Hopefully you guys liked it. I know it's Monday. Maybe that was something to give you guys a little bit of smile and laughter here. All right.
Back feel better?
It feels a little better. Still tight, but feels a lot better from not being able to stand or walk for a little bit. But yeah, it was a good laugh for a while. All right, back to the business here. Steps to the scientific method. I know we went over it on Friday, but it's good to review it because if we're reviewing it, that means it's probably going to pop up on what? Done. Classroom is not working. Was your iPad dead? Okay. Try to unplug it and then restart it. Sorry. Maybe that's the best thing to do. Okay, so I'll give you some time to do that. If you want to, you can draw it out like I had it up on the board the other day. Whatever you want to do, that's fine. Or you can just write it out. Whatever is easier for you. Okay? Whatever is easier for you. Let's see if we're still present here. Yep, screen's still going. We're good. We're good. Figured out the Wi-Fi problem too. I just hooked it up to the dongle. Dongle, that's a pretty cool name, huh? Sounds like Donkey Kong's brother or something. Dongle. I don't know. What do you think, Rooster? Oh, the vocab. Don't worry about the vocab yet, okay? We'll do the vocab when the quiz comes around, which probably not going to come around here soon. Probably next week sometime, okay? So you got about another week yet to work on vocab. Make sure you get that done. And we'll have a quiz here probably next week. So don't worry about the vocab just yet. I know many of the online learners, remote learners, okay, were questioning about it. Just wait. Just hold on. I'll give you some time yet to work on that. I'll put it up on the board and remind you when that test or quiz is coming up. So not soon. Not soon. Oh, for the bell ringers. Yeah, so if you want to, you can put it on a Word doc or a Google Doc. That's probably the easiest. Or you can just write them out in a notebook. Some people can clear it off the weekly bell ringer sheet that I use. That's fine. That's whatever you want to do. For those of you who had me last year, you know how to do it. The Notes app, same thing. Nina, Williams Valley. What the heck? The Vikings. Oh, is that where you used to go to school? Okay. Okay. I was going to say, that used to be our big-time rivals, so I'll try Valleys anyway. I really don't think they have a friendly school. Everybody seems like they're rivals with Williams Valley. They've been pretty good sports. Did you play softball there? No. What's that? Oh, cheerleading. Cool. Cool. Megan, you all done? Okay. So current events for Friday, Alex and Maria, you know that. Good to go. Aiden, how's your weekend, man? Not too bad, other than throwing out my back. What all did you do?
Pretty much just relaxed at home.
Nice. Oh, cool. Cool. Playing Fortnite? No. A little bit. Oh, that's right. What's the other one? Warzone. Playing Warzone in the gulag. I'm just kidding. You know what a gulag is? No, it's not like a gladiator pit that you use in Warzone. It's a little bit worse, actually. We'll talk about that in American history when we get to it. World War II. What's up? Yeah, it was like a Soviet labor camp. Yeah. Yeah. All right, we ready to go over this here? Yes, no, maybe so. All right, let's start up from the top. I'll write up on the board too, so it's like a visual for everybody. Those of you at home, I'll maybe move the computer over to help you out. I don't know. Can't really move it from there, but we'll try. All right, so first things first, what do we start off with? Maria, go ahead. I saw your hand going up. Yeah, so make an observation. Good. And what goal does that fall under? Yeah, good job. Description. I was waiting. What goals are you talking about? Yeah, make an observation. Good job. I just put scientific method here. Okay, next one. Next one here. What's the next step? Go ahead, Lily.
Ask a question.
Ask a question. Good job. Always good to ask a question. Good. So that kind of falls under what then? What goal do you think? I think it goes along really well with a hypothesis. So what goal does that fall under? Nina? Yeah. Yep. Good job. Explanation. Good job. All right. After ask a question, what do we have? What do we have? Go ahead, TC. Yeah, formulate a hypothesis. Good job. So I just gave it to you just before. Hypothesis. What is a hypothesis, TC? We'll get to it here soon a little bit more in detail next chapter, but what's a hypothesis? It's almost like a prediction, right? So that kind of falls under explanation, prediction a little bit. And what is it? What kind of statement is it? Always two words to this statement. Go ahead, Katie. An if-then statement, right? So if we change this variable, then this will be the result, right? Okay, good job. Or if we alter this, or if this person does this, then this will happen. All right, good job. So formulate a hypothesis. All right, what's the next step? Kinsley, go ahead.
Make a prediction.
Yeah, good job. Make a prediction. And what goal does this fall under? Yeah, good job. So you're making a prediction. So again, hypothesis kind of goes along with that. You're trying to predict what's going to happen. Trying to predict the results of your experiment. Good. All right, what else? What else here? What else here? Alex, go ahead, man. Okay, yeah, right. Go to the experiment, huh? Is that right, guys? 2 chains. I like 2 chains, a rapper. Yeah? I was going to say because your necklace here. I like 2 chains. All right, experiment. Good job. What else? Where do you go to next? Go ahead, Katie.
Analyze.
You analyze your results. Good. What good's the experiment without any results? And if you don't analyze them, how are you going to see if your hypothesis is true or not? And if a hypothesis is true, what does that turn into? Alex?
Well, if it's true, then you do it again and then you report it.
Yeah, so you can say it's a theory then, right? So I think that was in the reading, hypothesis, and then if it's proven to be true through the experiment, replicate the study, you can say it's a theory. Good. So analyze results. What happens here then? So if your hypothesis does not work, if it's false, what happens? So let's just say if no, what happens? Katie?
You do it again and keep doing it again until you get it right.
Good. So we go back up here. Okay. Good job. So if it's yes, I'll just put it over here. We go what? go where after we analyze results or hypothesis? Good to go. Katie?
We essentially check our work by redoing the same process.
Yep, good job. So replicate it. I know I told you to put that in there. It wasn't on. Just throwing a bone at you, right? A curveball. Just kidding. I was playing Wii baseball yesterday. That was pretty fun. I forgot how fun the Wii is. You play that a lot, Rebecca? No? I could see you and Nick playing against each other, boxing or something, and actually turn it into a boxing. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so you replicate it, and then what happens? So you got to go through the whole study again and make sure that all your variables are good to go, and there's no confounding variables, which we'll talk about here soon, that alters the data or alters the experiment. And what happens next, Kinsley? Yeah, good job. Report. Oh, hopefully I can get back up my back here. Yep, your report, the results. Ready? Oh yeah, no problem, no problem. We're good. What if I would have fell at TC? I'd have to ask you to come over and pick me up or something. I don't know, maybe Rooster. We'll see. Alex be like, I got a chain, wrap them up, and pick them up. All right, so there's a scientific method. Let me pull this over here real quick for the folks at home so they can see it. You can write it down. Maybe take a screenshot of it if they want to, whatever they want to do. Let me see if that works for them. Oh boy, hopefully the light is good. You can read my chicken scratch. All right, that's enough time. You can see it in the video then to screenshot it. And it was on the slide before, so you guys got it. All right. Next thing, I'll give you some time to work on the vocab. Does that work? Okay. How about like 3 minutes? I know there's a lot of terms. And remember, do the ones on the bottom. So the famous psychologists, okay, and some of, I think there's some approaches down there on the bottom of the vocab terms. Lily, you got them all done. The vocab. Oh, okay. I thought you were like, I got this. Don't worry about me. I come in late. I get the vocab terms done. No, I'm just kidding. Serene's my brother. Oh, God. All right. All right, so I'll give you some time to work on vocab, and then we'll move on to the 3 ways of performing psychology. I think it's really 2, but your book says 3. So we'll go over to 3, but I'll tell you why I think it's just 2. We'll just keep that on the line for now while you guys work on your vocab. Oh my gosh. Boy, I'm sorry.
Sarah.
I'm sorry, Sarah.
At least in the last 2 letters, right? It's a step forward.
That's true. Sarah, I apologize. I'll make sure I get it tomorrow. I like your mask, by the way. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Rebecca, you get to talk to Nick at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, how's he doing?
All right.
You adjusting up there?
Yeah.
Probably new world for him. Yeah. Well, this is a lot different than that. The spring glen, right? Yeah. You're just outside of it. You're close to being bulldog, man.
Yeah.
Bulldogs. So his class is going well for him?
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot to ask, is he all online or not?
Yeah.
Is he? Is he just hanging out in the dorm?
Pretty much, I guess.
Yeah, playing video games, eating pizza, talking to his buddies. That's cool. Probably hanging out at the creamery. Do you get ice cream there yet? Oh, good stuff there. Remember him every year starting camp? He wore those Peyton Manning started training camp. He wear his black Star visor and high top cleats. It was really cool. It was funny. Kind of looked intimidating with it on. Then you saw him run, you laugh. All right, let's finish up the one we're on so we can go over this here quick, and then I'll get you working on your activity here. So we're going to talk about professions in psychology. You're going to do a little project on it. How cool is that going to be? Aiden's like, really, dude? Come on, man. No, I promise it's not hard. It's not too bad. It's actually pretty good, so you get to see exactly what professions you can go into in psychology, and maybe some branches of psych that maybe you find interesting and that you want to take up maybe in college, or you want to study it a little bit more in the future. Maybe it's a profession that you can see yourself in the future. All right, so we'll move on today with the 3 ways of performing psychology, but to branch off the scientific method. All right, what is what is pseudopsychology? What is that again? Before we move on, I like to review. I like to make sure that we got all the information down before we move on to more material. But what is pseudopsychology? What is that? Or pseudoscience? Go ahead, Megan.
Psychology that's not based in science.
Yeah, okay, good job. So some people label it fake science or fake psychology. I'm not going to say it's fake just because, I mean, for some people, that's a getaway for them. That's a therapeutic measure for them, okay, that they can feel that they're getting better. You know, maybe it's a zodiac symbol that they follow every single day, like a statement. Or maybe it's palm reading. I don't know. Okay, for some people, mental help and mental I guess you could say just reviewing over things is very beneficial. It's almost like music, right? There's no scientific study stating that music actually helps you study or retain knowledge, but I think it helps a lot, and it calms me down. Okay, whenever I'm working on something, I think music's always there to just calm and help me just focus on something. Okay, especially for warming up for sports or getting ready for a game, right, TC? You put those beats on and you're good to go. Yeah, you turn into an animal, like Tom Brady. Okay. All right, so the scientific method, again, is trying to prove and put science and experimentation and using variables to prove a hypothesis, to try to formulate a theory. And with pseudopsychology, pseudoscience, you can't really apply that to this. You know, some facilitated communicators help students that can't communicate with one another. They guide their finger to certain letters and numbers, and that was debunked. That was proven that it's really not a great form of communication for these students that can't communicate or children. It's really the communicator, the facilitated communicator, that's guiding those words to be spoken, or obviously not spoken, but pointed out. Okay. All right, but again, I want you to know scientific method so that we can debunk these theories and put science and proof behind some of these experiments and methods. All right? Okay, so we're going to move on. 3 ways of performing psychology. All right, so first one, experimental psychologist. All right, so next chapter, we're going to go over some famous experiments, okay, and how some of these were ethical. Some of them were very unethical, all right? And obviously some of them stated a lot of good measures and proved science and backing to help and alleviate problems that we can apply to benefiting people moving forward. But experimental psychologists, they do basic research in psychology, Many of them are focused and seen in colleges or universities. Why do you think they're mostly seen in colleges or universities where we can find these careers? Why there? Not all of them are. You might have private experimental psychologists that are hired by a private business, okay, or a private research center. But for the most part, you'll see them at universities or colleges. Why? What do you think, TC? All right, so a lot of these experimental psychologists are professors, okay? They do teach and educate, obviously, people that are going to college or university to expand on their psychological studies, okay? So, yeah, you'll find a lot of these professors that are doing these experimental forms of research at universities or colleges. Good, but why else? Why are they mostly focused on universities and colleges? Why is it really hard for experimental psychologists to do research on their own? Why can't they just do it at home? What do you think, Alex?
Because there's a lot of people at colleges and universities, and it's more controlled in a way.
Okay, so it's controlled. They know the ethical standards, right, of performing these experiments. That's very good. To perform these things. A lot of money, right? So funding. Okay, make sure you guys know that. So experimental psychologists, especially with funding, okay, universities, colleges, they help pay and fund some of these experiments, which, again, these psychologists then teach and perform these certain methods for their students to teach them and educate them. So that kind of falls under school and teaching of psychology, which I'll get to here soon. But experimental psychologists, they're performing the research. They're going through the scientific method every single time they're going through an experiment. And they mostly find them at schools or colleges, universities, because of funding. Right? And like you said, controlled ethical standards, right? They have to go by that. Good. All right, next one, teachers of psychology. Again, they kind of fall under experimental psychologists just because many of these teachers are in universities and colleges for a reason, because of funding. All right, they can expand on their knowledge and do these researches because of the funding the university and colleges have to offer, in order to try to help these people out with their certain problems or any type of forms of therapy. Okay, maybe in the medical field, maybe it's just counseling, whatever it might be. Coming up with these different types of hypotheses to go through the scientific method to be proven as a theory to benefit these people, which will lead to the next form of psychology, which we'll talk about here soon. Also, I mean, I'm just going over the brief principles, approaches, structures of psychology here in high school. Right? So again, at an educational level. I also find them at hospitals, okay? Hospitals. Different health centers. Clinics, okay? All right, does everybody have that? We're good? Again, you don't have to write down every single word, just kind of the examples that I give and talk about in class. All right, and the last one, applied psychology. Applied psychology. So with applied psychology, again, you go through the scientific method, right? You report your results, okay? You try to analyze your results to try to be proven. And again, you have to replicate it, go through it again to make sure that there's no confounding variables, there's no altercations or biases, okay? And with applied psychology, you're trying to put that method that you just went through, that hypothesis that you just proved to be a theory, to the test. Okay, it might be medical means, right? It might be just a form of medicine that you can help alleviate problems for people, okay? Or if it's a form of counseling, how you can put those standards that you just created and went through and studied through an experiment to help benefit or alleviate problems, okay? might be drug related. It might be behavioral related. Okay. It might be something just with personality traits or personality disorders. Okay. Maybe an eating disorder, whatever it might be. But applied psychology is using those standards, using those those methods that you just performed in your scientific method, your study, your experiment, and applying them to people, trying to help them out, trying to benefit them in any way, shape, or form. Okay? So the results that you gather, that you push forward to finding, you can apply them to your field. All right, is there any questions on the 3 ways of performing psychology? Again, I think experimental psychology and teachers of psychology are very similar, just because most of the time you find these people in universities, colleges, or in healthcare clinics, or hospitals, things like that. But for the most part, we're just going to keep them branched because that's what the book states, and we're going to keep them the same standards there. Okay, and then finally, applied psychology, where we're putting it to the test. Gathering our results, gathering our data, and applying it to try to benefit someone, something. Okay? All right, so psychology and psychiatry. Plain and simple, guys, I just want to say that psychology, there's many different approaches, perspectives, branches, occupations than just psychiatry. Okay? I'm not saying psychiatry is not a good thing. I'm just saying that there's more to psychology than meets the mind, than what we see with psychiatry. Okay? So psychiatrists hold degrees, medical degrees, and have specialized training and treatment for mental and behavioral problems. Okay, with psychology, that is a sort of branch that you can follow and fall suit in. But with psychology, there's many different approaches, many different occupations that you can get it yourself into, which I'll have an activity here that you can research some of them. Okay, maybe find something that suits you, and I'd like you to fill out that activity. And then for Friday, I'd like you to work on. Okay, I'll go through it here. Is there any questions though, guys? Again, we're going to get into a lot of the occupations that you can pursue with psychology, and I think that's important. I think that's something that you can utilize moving forward if you're trying to study in college. If you're looking for what can psychology do to help me, okay, how can I maybe use this as a career path? All right, I think that's very important. So I'm going to post that up for you now. Freeze that for you. So anybody is still taking notes. Post that for you. Maybe I did already. I don't know. No, I didn't. Let me add that for you. Getting there. See if this is it. All right. Oh, spelled complete wrong. Computer froze. Uh-oh. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second here. Okay, I just posted it. It's career paths in psychology. So it's professions in psychology here. So there's 8 that I like you to look up. It's on page 24 and 27. So it's in the textbook. You guys can go online. I'm not sure what page it is on the online textbook, but it's on 24 and 27 in the textbook. Okay, on the online form, you'll see it at the bottom of the page there. But I just like you to research this here. So describe in detail these professions in psychology. They're listed in the book. Okay. And then if you like, just give examples of, let's say, I don't know, educational psychologist. So you could put in, okay, there's a school psychologist, there's a mental health counselor, maybe a guidance counselor. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. So for examples, and then you just describe it, like how is this profession looking to help people out? Okay, how does it look to as a career path? Okay, where can you find? Obviously in schools, maybe in clinicals and healthcare systems, things like that. All right. Is there any questions on that, guys? Then for Friday, after you did a lot of research and found examples of career paths in these professions, I'd like you to create a PowerPoint of a profession that you find is interesting, okay, that you think that you'd maybe look to do in the future, or a career path for you, okay. I wanted to add, of sites of occupations that's close to home. Okay, so let's say you want to be an educational psychologist or a school psychologist. A career path can be here at Upper Dauphin Area School District, maybe Lime Mountain, or Tri-Valley, whatever it might be, okay? Or maybe you want to be a military psychologist, okay? Fort Indian Town Gap, not too far away, right? Okay. And I'd like you to include that within your PowerPoint. So somewhere local that maybe you could find a career path in this approach or this profession in psychology. Does everybody know what we're doing? Okay, so try to have that profession done, that PowerPoint done for Friday. We'll present those Friday. Does that sound good? And Friday we'll kind of relax a little bit. We'll just see your presentations on your career path, and that'll be it. Does that work? All right, so the activity, you guys can have the activity done for Friday as well. Good one. Take care. When you're lifting something, lift with your legs, not your back. There you go. Right, Rebecca?